Today we are taking the Polo Sedan out for a drive on the back roads of Langkawi. It's a combination of dual carriageway and twisty back roads. It's going to be quite revealing because we'll find out for the first time whether this Volkswagen, I know it has a nice German brand, is quite up to mark to the brand itself. I'm quite sure that it is competitive in terms of specifications, in terms of design, and in terms of the price of the car itself. But whether at 99,000, just a shade under 100,000 ringgit, this car can actually live up to the expectations of people who buy Volkswagens, or will they be tapping into a new group of buyers who have no real expectations of what the Volkswagen would be like and are happy to step up into a German brand and enjoy that extra bit of refinement that they're going to get compared to what the Japanese look like. Okay, now I want to talk a bit about the design of the car. Clearly, this is a car that has come from the Volkswagen stable. If you look at the basic proportions, they're very conventional. There's nothing that's too dramatic about it. The surfaces are large and calm, again another Volkswagen trait. The details are clean and crisp, and overall it's a car that is coherent. And while that is good for buyers in the family segment who want something that looks stable, that looks safe, and that is presentable and respectable, maybe younger buyers will need to do a bit of touching up for the car. Maybe bigger wheels, maybe side skirts and stuff like that. But overall, I think this is a design that has struck a nice balance between prestige, between a German premium look, and something that would satisfy younger buyers that they're targeting. You expect buyers for this car are young families, early 30s, mid 30s, just starting out, 1 or 2 kids, or slightly older families or even retirees who are thinking of a retirement car. This is a fantastic retirement car, I think, because it is rather the way it is designed and the way it is engineered is a car that requires minimum maintenance. I think that is something that is also mentioned by Volkswagen Managing Director Ricky yesterday when he was asked about the expectations of buyers who have never owned a German car in terms of the cost of maintaining the car. And I think they've understood that, and they have engineered the car to be relatively low maintenance, and taking into account the fact that these cars will be sold in India, China, Russia, and other developing markets. Okay, now I want to look a bit at the offering in terms of cabin space. And I've set up the front seats to my height, which is somebody who's about 5'11". And let's see how much space I'll have at the back. As you can see, sitting upright, I still have one hand width ahead of my knee. So this car has a very generous cabin. And I think Volkswagen mentioned yesterday that it has one of the longest wheelbase in class. And you can see where all that room has been put to good use. Also, if you notice, the roof line is quite flat, quite high. And this gives also decent headroom at the back. And again, I have the minimum one hand width above my head, between the head, top of my head and the ceiling of the car. And apart from the fact that it has a lot of leg room, the rear cabin is quite sparsely finished. There's really nothing in terms of center armrest or cup holders or anything. but you get what you get. You get what you pay for. What you get is a car that is decently engineered, up to a certain Volkswagen standard. It is quite beautifully finished. The fit and finish is quite good. It's typical Volkswagen fashion. The material quality is not the typical level that you may expect, because you have to remember that Volkswagen has been selling rather premium models in this market, in our market, in the Malaysian market, up to this date. And even the Polo, which is considered a very basic entry-level car in Europe, is perceived with a premium eye, and it is sold above 100,000 ringgit. And this is the first model that dips below that mark. And so you will have to understand if there are some corners being cut. But again, as a general motoring enthusiast, you as a general driver, I mean, you probably won't feel where the corners are being cut, because they've done it intelligently. They've embellished the interior with just the right amount of bright work to lift it up again to a certain level of premium perception. As Volkswagen has mentioned to us a few times, this car is all about the Volkswagen brand aspiring into a German brand, and about practicality and about value for money. Now, if you look at the boot, it is a very generous boot, has a nice low floor. It can easily take 2 large suitcases. Now we have 3 rather large backpacks, and it will take, I think, as many as even 10 backpacks in the back. So if you are going to be using this car for balik kampung, you'll have room for everything and the kitchen sink. Okay, initial impressions of the car. First we'll notice that the 1.6 litre 4-cylinder MPI, which stands for multi-port injection, it's not the most refined of engine, but it is acceptable for a car in this price range. It is gutsy. It's fairly refined, even up to 4,000 RPM, but it's a bit of noise and gruffness. Not out of character for this class of cars, especially when compared to, say, the Vios, the City, and the Proton Breve. In terms of the driving dynamics, the steering feels light. There's a fair bit of feedback from the steering, but I wish there could be a bit more. The other Volkswagens, even the Polo hatchback, has more feel to the steering wheel than this car. But as a family sedan, this is quite acceptable. You certainly won't want to rush this car into corners. The level of feedback and it's just not there for you to feel confident chucking it really hard into corners. The Tiptronic transmission is a 5-speeder. Shift is not particularly fast, but not particularly slow either. It's middle of the road in terms of the responsiveness. The ratios are well chosen though. On 5th gear, 110 is 3000 RPM, not spectacular. Nowadays cars take at about 2500 RPM or slightly less than that in 5th gear. So this gives us a sense of where this car is in terms of its technology offering. This is a car that if it were sold and offered in the later end of the last century or early 2000, it would have been considered very well engineered. But now it is decidedly a car developed for the developing market, and in that sense it is quite good. But if you compare it to the standard cars that is developed by VW, then you'll understand where they are making concessions to the price. But there are some really nice touches to the car. I especially like the chrome package. I've said that before. The chrome package basically gives you shiny chrome effect finish around all the air conditioning dials, cradles, the main switches on the dashboard, and highlights the features of the entertainment unit. It also gives the main instrument dials, the two main dials, chrome bezel. There's a nice, well-finished chrome surround at the base of the gear shift, and also there's a chrome finish on the gear stick itself. Volkswagen has also gone to some effort to give the car a luxury feel by covering the steering wheel with nice quality leather. Even the gear shift is leather wrapped, and that also goes for the handbrake lever. Brakes are okay. They're not they don't offer the sharpest initial bite, but it is good enough for brisk driving. There's enough pedal feel for you to modulate the brake pressure quite accurately, but you do have to put in a bit of effort. Setup is quite has a rather manual and progressive feel, which is nice. It's not over servoed, what I mean. In terms of absolute handling qualities, it is set up more for comfort, more for family driving than enthusiastic driving. The turn-in is a bit on the soft side. It doesn't bite into the corners quite as aggressive as you would have in a, say, sporty hatchback. And in terms of the the way it handles in corners, the nose does wash out into understeer quite early, but it happens progressively, so you can feel it coming up, and all you have to do is just lift off because it's been set up to be safe. The tail is not tail like a tail happy car. Doesn't feel like the tail is nervous and ready to get out of shit. The 1.6 litre MPI engine offers 105 horsepower. That makes it comparable to, say, the Cam Pro IFM. And the one saving grace, I suppose, of this engine is that compared to the others in the class, it is willing to be worked quite hard, but it does run out of puff around 3,500 RPM. There's really nothing much to it after that. But if you do want to, I mean, the top already washes out by that point in time, so the acceleration is no longer as strong as you'd like it to be. But it is still quite refined. The engine is still willing to go up as high as 5,000 RPM before the noise becomes a bit gruff. Of noise, vibration and harshness, you can feel that
1.1 kilometers,
the body shaft is not as stiff or as rigid as you find in other VWs. You don't feel the flexing, but over undulations, or when the road climbing up, say, a rather steep ramp at low speed, there's you can feel hear a bit of creaking from the cars, and then that, you know, that's something that you just won't feel or hear in a proper Volkswagen. The Indian plant makes Polo sedans for the rest of the world, and by that we mean China, India, Russia, and now Malaysia. So you know that this is not a car that is available in Germany, and for obvious reasons, the Europeans simply won't accept this rather basic car, and the handling characteristic is more Asian. It is still quite German, the firm ride and handling, the secure feel of the car, but it's just not as agile or as refined as you'd find even in the basic Polo hatchback. On the plus side, the car is rather roomy. The boxy shape allows for a square cabin. It's a very tall roof. There are door panels, thinner, and that gives it more shoulder room in the car. Leg room is also quite decent. If I were to sit behind myself, I'm 5'11", I can sit quite comfortably behind myself for medium length journeys. And the ride quality itself is not harsh, but it is firm. It's typical German fashion. So this car is priced at under 100,000 ringgit. Well, it is 100,000, 99,998 or 988 or something like that. And even Volkswagen's managing director Ricky Tay made it a point to say that this is the first sub 100,000 car that Volkswagen has launched in Malaysia, and that's an indication of the fact that this is, even in Volkswagen's mind, a very competitive price. And in order to achieve that, surely they would have had to make some engineering solutions that are more suitable to the price. And what you can see inside the car is, can you hear the creaking? See, that is something that you won't necessarily hear from other Volkswagens. So where I can see most of the cost cutting has been done is in the quality of the plastics. I'm not saying that the plastics are of low grade, but they are more hard wearing plastic rather than more premium soft touch material that you get in the typical Passat or Jetta. And but luckily Volkswagen is experienced enough to know that for this kind of plastics, then you need to choose a certain texture that will make it work and still look and feel soft. And I thought to some extent that I've done that quite well. The texture is the usual leather texture, and that has given it a rather soft look and soft feel. And I'm purposely going through some really bad dirt roads just to highlight the creaking, if you can hear it. Can you hear it? That is an indication of the rigidity of the body shell. As the axle twists, so does a bit of the body, and you can hear the creaking as the plastic and the leather and the fabric and the rubber all move against each other.